I recently read an article in which an individual said any teaching that says that one must obey God to be saved pollutes grace. Faith plus obedience equals faith plus works, and that dilutes salvation, which is totally of God. And then he concluded, to say that you're saved by faith plus obedience is heresy. Well, is that really what the Bible teaches? Let's think about this for just a moment. The Bible does, in fact, very clearly teach that salvation is of God, but not by God alone. Paul writes in 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10 that God is our Savior. But we also read in Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21 that Jesus Christ saves. And the scriptures also teach in Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 9 that Jesus is the author of salvation only to those who obey him. We're saved by the blood of Christ, Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 7. But that does not pollute grace. We're saved by the gospel, Romans chapter 1 and verse 16. But only when the gospel of Christ is obeyed, Romans chapter 6 and verse 17. And so then, faith plus obedience is not heresy at all. Faith plus obedience equals justification. That's what the inspired writer wrote in James chapter 2, verses 21 and 22. Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? Now we know that the works of which James is writing was not works of merit. Abraham certainly did not earn justification. He did not earn the grace of God. He simply did what God told him to do. And God has always blessed the faith of individuals when their faith led them to obey him. Hebrews chapter 11 shows that to be the case. And Paul also writes in Romans chapter 16 and verse 26 of the obedience of faith. Think about it.